2011, fulfilling this dream and wish of mine to be able to talk sports to you and to all those others around this world. And I hope that this year you've learned something from me. If not, you'll learn something next year, maybe. Who knows? But hopefully next year we will be doing this for a larger audience and taking this career and making it what we want to make it become. And so, before we start talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly in the world of sports of 2011, I would like to do a quick little rundown of the week in sports and the good. The NFL schedule makers this year finally got it right. They have several intriguing and important games coming up this Sunday. And, for the first time probably in a long time, most of the games in the last week of the season has meaning. And we're not hearing so much about, this team talking about resting its players or that team resting its players. They actually have to play the games. Whether you're talking about the winner-take-all Cowboys-Giants game, which should be epic, even though Romo has a busted hand, I truly still believe he will play, and he will play well. It's just going to come down to the fourth quarter like their games always tend to do. The Bengals taking on the Ravens is an enormous game because of the fact that if the Bengals win, they're in the playoffs. If the Ravens win, they clinch home field advantage throughout the actually, they're number 2 seed, and depending on if the Patriots win a lot, they could be in line for home field advantage. The West Coast games are enormous as the Raiders and Chargers will do battle. The Chiefs and the Broncos as well. And if the Broncos win, they clinch the AFC West. If the Raiders win and the Broncos lose, the Raiders clinch the AFC West. And the awesome part about it for the Broncos-Chiefs game is that Kyle Orton gets to come back to Denver and essentially show the Denver Broncos who he is. And if he can somehow, some way put together an amazing performance, maybe he can exact some kind of redemption in this supposed year of redemption. Actually, it has no redemption to some people, but, congratulations just to get the opportunity to get a chance to exercise some of your demons. Also, Drew Brees the other night became the most prolific individual season passer in the history of the NFL by throwing for over 300 yards in his last matchup against the Falcons and passing Dan Marino's record of 5,084 yards. Drew Brees now owns that record of throwing for that many yards. And basically, he's now got 5,087 yards with one game to go. And yes, they will be playing because they still have things to play for. No question the MVP voting is between him and Aaron Rodgers, although Mr. Foster in Houston has a lot to say about it. I still believe that the two quarterbacks will probably either share the MVP award or it'll go to either or. But it's been an epic week for the National Football League, and I'm sure after the year it's had, it needs a week like this. Also want to talk about the NBA starting. There's not a lot of people out there who are NBA enthusiasts, but I guess on Christmas Day, the ratings for their opening night was absolutely fantastic. And the week's games have shown that some teams still need more time, and some teams are not necessarily at mid-season form, but are playing very well and are capable of doing extraordinary things. Oklahoma City last night, those of you who watched that game, seeing Durant hit that three-point shot from 30-plus feet to give his team the victory after Vince Carter hit a shot to give Dallas the opportunity to possibly win the game. It shows that Oklahoma City, in spite of their inner turmoil, are here to stay. The Miami Heat has come out the gates playing great basketball, although in their last game they did have to come from behind to win, but they are playing extremely well. And also, if you look at some of the other teams, how about the Portland Trail Blazers? The Blazers have had a horrible season off the court, losing Odin and also losing Brandon Roy for the season, and Brandon Roy actually being forced to retire. The Blazers last night beating Denver and a very significant game because Denver had been coming out of the gate as well, playing pretty well. So, you know, basketball looks pretty solid. I mean, give shout out to even Atlanta Hawks and to the Indiana Pacers. Both of those teams coming out the way they've come out and shown that, you know, some of the moves that they made in the offseason may make them better. But the bottom line is, you know, it's a long season ahead, and hopefully, you know, the teams will prove that their game is as solid as it ever has been, and we'll take it from there as the season progresses. And so we'll talk about the good in the year in review on 89.7 KLAS FM after this.
Hello, Pringles 800 number.
Yeah, hi. You made a mistake with my Pringles.
Sir?
See, it says fat-free on the can, but they don't taste fat-free.
Sir, if it says fat-free original Pringles, that's what they are.
Listen, talk to my wife. Blanche!